first problem they have is they are not respectful enough to their parents. The second problem they have is they are overexposed to shamelessness. Two problems. If you can solve these two problems, you got to know that everything else will be solved. Everything else will be fine. You don't make salah on time, it'll be fixed. Don't worry about it. It will come into play. You don't know it, you don't have enough knowledge, knowledge will come to you. You know, everything else will fall into place. But these are the two things that are eating away at the life of Muslim youth and reducing them from not just believers, but even from human beings to animals. Even Muslim kids are being reduced to like the likeness of animals. The number one thing was what? What was the biggest problem? Yeah, not enough respect for your parents. Not enough respect for your parents. So you know when Allah is talking about the slaves who went beyond their limits? You know what the number one limit you're crossing is? And as far as you guys are concerned? What you owe your parents. How much respect, how much dignity, how much regard, how much obedience, how much love you owe your parents. That's the first thing. By the way, when somebody does you a favor, what's the least you should do? Thank you. You're walking to school, a friend of yours pulls over, says, I'll give you a ride, man. And he gives you a ride. And it's snowing and it's freezing, and he gives you a ride. When he gives you a ride, when you get off the ride, what do you say at the very least? And what kind of indecent, despicable person would you be that they did that for you and then you don't even thank them? Right? That would be a disgusting human being. You don't even have that much dignity to say thanks, man. Now, just think about, a lot of you have this conversation among yourselves. Or even at school or among friends. My parents, man, they just don't understand, bro. I'm trying to understand, I'm trying to explain to them, but they just don't get it. Or in those of you that go to public school hear this from other kids all the time. My parents got a funny accent, or they call their mom by her first name. Hey Joanne, how's it going? Hey Mark, you're late to pick me up from school. They'll talk to their parents with their first name, right? And we pick up some of these habits. And by the way, there are a lot of TV shows. I mean, you guys don't watch cartoons. I do though. Okay, so I'll tell you. You watch cartoons, and a lot of cartoons are dedicated to depicting parents as idiots. You ever seen Jimmy Neutron? You ever seen it? The parents are cross-eyed. You notice that? The parents look like a bunch of morons, and they're cross-eyed, and they don't know what's going on. The kid's the genius, they're the idiots. You ever seen, what's that other, there's a Fairly Odd Parents. You ever seen that? Same thing again. The kids are a bunch of morons. The parents are morons. And the kids are really smart. And these kids, who's watching these shows, by the way? Parents or kids? And what's being embedded in their minds, in their subconscious? That they're really smart and their parents are what? They're stupid, they're dumb, they don't know anything. They don't know anything. The same, what was that African-American family in Disney? I forget. I think it's called the Proud Family. Same thing. Same thing again. Over and over. This is cartoons. Back in the day, the cartoon was there was a cat, there was a mouse, they're trying to kill each other, everything was good. But now, that was good stuff. But now it's, there's these messages inside the shows, and these cartoons even, right? And you don't even realize the next time you talk about your parents a certain way, it's because you saw some garbage. Right? And it's stuck in your head, and it made you less of a human. Less of a human being, subhanAllah. So the first thing I say to you is, there are, after the rights of Allah, in the passage of Surah Al-Isra, after the rights of Allah, whose rights? The parents. وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. And not even وَإِحْسَانًا بِالْوَالِدَيْنِ. وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. This is actually, I won't go into the grammar, but this is amazing over here. Especially when it comes to your parents. You better be the best. Forget everyone else when it comes to your parents. Take extra caution when you deal with your parents. Because that will, not dealing with them properly, I'm being blunt with you guys because I don't want to flower this up. That is your one-way ticket to hell. You are messed up with your parents. It doesn't matter if you go to Hajj every year and slaughter goats for the sake of Allah and give charity and make qiyamah. None of that matters. If you're messed up with your parents, it's a straight ticket to hellfire. Watch it.
If you look, all of the research that we have indicates that media violence has increased in quantity, but it's also more graphic, more sexual, and more sadistic. This is the khutawat al-shaytan. If you watch films from the 1940s, the 1930s, the 1950s, you can see it's slow. This is how shaitan gets people. يَسْتَدْرِجُهُمْ. He pulls them step by step. These are his khutawat. You start watching films, they've introduced violence. In my country, one of the landmark films was a film called Bonnie and Clyde with, what's his name? See, people know, Warren Beatty. Yeah. There's a hadith that in the end of time, the shayateen will take forms and they'll tell you fictional stories, and you'll say, I can see his face, but I don't know his name. It's in Sahih al-Bukhari. And there's a website of actors. The website is called You Know Their Faces But Can't Remember Their Names. That's a hadith. It's amazing. Sadaqa Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So that film was a major change in America in cinematography, because before that, graphic violence was not permitted. But this film showed blood, gore. Now that film looks tame compared to what they have out. These are the khutawat of shaitan. And shaitan wants violence and sex are his two, these are because they're very powerful for the human psyche. And these are the two ways that he can really corrupt the heart. This is from the United States, so I'm using statistics from the US, but it's all coming to you, unfortunately. So 80% of R-rated movies, right? 70% of restricted video games, and 100% of music with explicit content, warning labels, were being marketed to children under 17. So they know what they're doing. These are the minions of shaitan, whether they're conscious of it or not. وَلَكِنَّهُمْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. They're unconscious. If you say, لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ قَالُوا إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُصْلِحُونَ. We believe in freedom of speech. We believe in artistic expression. We're not sowing corruption. No, they're the corruptors. أَلَا إِنَّهُمْ هُمُ الْمُفْسِدُونَ. But they're unaware. So many of them are literally you have so much children violence. This is a cartoon for children. You know, this is traumatic for kids. Trust me. I have a person I know who was a child psychiatrist, and he told me he had so many children that had Disney film trauma. Every single Disney film has a dead mother or a mother who dies in the film. Why do they do that? It's traumatic. They know what they're doing. Disney is an evil empire. And this is not a joke. Disney is an evil empire. And why does Disney spread this global message out to turn little girls into princesses? We don't want, all you need is one princess in a country. Or maybe, okay, you have 9 sultanates, so you have to have more. But you don't want a lot of princesses in a country. You want women that will serve, that will work, that will do things. They don't expect everybody to do it for them. And I know the sultanas here serve and do things. That's true. But the Disney princess is served. And all the children are little warriors. So they have this violent attitude in their... look at this. It's just unbelievable. Cartoons are very serious. This cartoon was done, it's for adults. The man that does this cartoon, literally, he's an atheist, doesn't believe in anything, makes fun of everything, cynicism, everything's a joke. Kids watch this show. It's a very sophisticated show. This is all about ghosts and demons and the occult. The Scooby-Doo has all these occult themes in it. And then here's the father of the family, right? Homer Simpson. And there's his relationship with his kid, right? The level of violence during Saturday morning cartoons is higher than the level of violence during prime time. You've got all these cartoons here now, and your kids are growing up on this crap. There was a game called Tetris. And I had never done this before. So I started playing it, and it was really interesting, and I was, okay. And I worked it out, and I don't even know how long I played it for. When I finished, I turned away, and I was seeing those images come down. I never did it again. And my wife will testify, I don't play any of those games. I've never played any of those games. I am against those games. They're evil games. And I really encourage you just to give them up and utilize your time. Learn a language. Go talk to the Orang Asli about Islam. You know, go clean up. Get like volunteer groups that do litter pickup on your streets. You know, seriously, go do something useful. Go work out. You know, keep your body healthy. Go play soccer. Go visit your grandmother. Go to a hospital and visit people that aren't getting people visiting them. Do something useful, but don't waste your time doing it. The effects of video gaming. This is one of the big plagues on our civilization. I'm talking about global civilization. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry with massive resources and power now. This is incredibly harmful. It's people die from this. There was a Japanese boy who gamed until he had a heart attack. People die from this. It's true there are only a small number of people that are going to get addicted in that way. But this is what Islam is, a rahmah to people. So it prohibits things that are harmful. Anybody who studied fiqh knows there's a section on bi'. It's prohibited to sell alatul lahu. It's haram to sell games. You can make your own games, you know, like play games, children play games, rocks and stones. Little kids, they don't care what you give them. But to sell things and make money off lahu is prohibited in our sharia. Nobody talks about this anymore. They just think, oh, you can just go and do this and it doesn't matter. You know, this is what's happened to us because Shaitan has taken us by steps. So if you look at these things, social isolation, drop in school performance, obesity, people that game are fatter than people that don't, wasting time, which is a great sin in our religion. To waste our time, it's sinful to waste time. Omar said, "Akrahu an ara ahadukum sabahlala." I hate to see one of you wasting his time. Imma fi dunyahu aw imma fi ukhrahu. Be doing something to benefit your dunya or something to benefit your akhirah. But don't just waste your time of no benefit. And people say, oh, but brother, this is good for dexterity skills. I want to be a surgeon, and it actually teaches you eye-hand coordination. It's going to help me. You know, nice argument. Violent tendencies. We know this. Financial loss, decrease in empathy. You become less empathic. Watch this scene. This is a game. This is a game that people play. See, I mean, don't let your kids
Parents
watch
are going to buy children games like this. This is real. Kids underage play many games like this because when parents go to buy games, they don't check the age ratings. So this Christmas, when you go to buy a new Xbox game, check the age rating.
Yeah, that's to me a lousy message. Don't go buy it. You know, that's the real message. Don't buy it.
The one thing that actually destroys us is laziness. And I find in the new generations or the younger generations, subhanallah, it's becoming a big issue. It's becoming a problem where sometimes there's no motivation to do things. And I don't know, perhaps there is some motivation, but we need to trigger it somehow. Laziness is something you have to fight. If you want to achieve something, get up, do it now. Do it at your earliest convenience. Don't leave it for tomorrow. Tomorrow, no. I do it now. And then the Prophet, peace be upon him, goes on and he says, do you know what? And this is all connected, subhanallah. He says, your spare time, your free time is an opportunity. Think about it. You have a moment, do something constructive. If you don't do something constructive, you will do one of two things. Either you've wasted the moment, which is destructive, or you're going to do something destructive, which is even worse. Now you've got your phone and you're just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. It becomes a disease. It's a disease. You keep scrolling because there's so much on there. Remember, there are billions of people on earth. If half of them are online or half of them have posted online on the social media, you're going to be occupied for a lifetime watching. Then what happens? You sleep late every day And every day you say to yourself, I'm going to sleep early. Tomorrow doesn't come. When you're in your grave, you can sleep forever. Subhanallah. Every night, if you're a person who says, I'm going to sleep early, and the next day you're saying the same thing, you have a problem. You have an addiction to something. It is wrong. You must be disciplined. Turn off that phone at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, no matter what the world says. It's okay. Switch it off. And you can turn it on at 8 in the morning or 7. Are you prepared to do that? I see people giving me the looks. Just as well you're wearing masks. Otherwise you might even give me your tongues. May Allah forgive us. But it's a fact. We scroll every night and then we want to get up early morning for Fajr, and suddenly you're running and rushing. You've either missed your Fajr or you're very late for it, or you couldn't be bothered. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Discipline. Get rid of your bad habits. Your life is very, very short. You might live for a few days, a few more days only. You can count those days, 300 days, 500 days, 1,000 days, 5,000 days, not more than that. And in these little days I've got on earth, few days that I've got here in this world, I must waste them in this type of thing with bad habits. I'm going to go back to meet with Allah. What did I do? Occupy your weekends with something good. Join a club of people who are going to meet the poor, the widows, the orphans, perhaps the homeless, those who are going to feed others, look after the sick, those who are going to reach out, community affairs, clean up perhaps, whatever else it may be. Join them to do something constructive and see how you feel. When you have a whole lot of friends who think similar, you will really enjoy yourself, especially when you're doing good things. So be careful who you mix with. From a young age, we have bad friends. Those who are only interested in partying all day, every day. What is that? Do you really think that is discipline? Do you really think that that's what Allah requires of us? Do you really think that partying and drinking yourself drunk is actually going to bring you goodness and happiness and success in this world and the next? Not at all. If anything, go and study the people who are partying in that way. They're all somehow unhappy. And I'm just wording it respectfully. They all have a problem. That's not the way to success. Discipline yourself for the sake of Allah and watch your doors opening. Replace something bad with the recitation of the Quran, with the dhikr of Allah. Repeat the names of Allah. Repeat some of the words taught by the Prophet ﷺ of praise of Allah, of praise of the Messenger ﷺ. Send blessings and salutations upon him and see what it does to you. Sit down, think about it, say, oh Allah, I'm going to read this Quran for 10 minutes, then I'm going to engage in salawat for another 10 minutes, and I'm going to do this for another 10 minutes, and then I'm going to make dua for another 10 minutes, and that's how I'm going to spend my day. What's wrong with that? That is actually spending it in the right direction. But if you don't set yourself a timetable, and you're not disciplined, and you don't have a routine, how do you expect to pass in life or succeed in life? Let's deal with our bad habits. My brothers, my sisters, again, look at anything. When it comes to the Quran, khayrun nas al-halul murtahilu. You look at what the Prophet ﷺ says, the best of the people are those whom they recite the Quran regularly, and when they finish, they start again. When they finish, they start again. When they finish, they start again. Subhanallah. Look at the sunnah fasting every Monday, every Thursday. So you're very focused on the week, and you're very aware of what day of the week it is, because you know it's a Monday, I'm going to be fasting. It's a Thursday, I'm going to be fasting. And it comes back the following week, and the following week, and the following week. Notice how it repeats, because Allah wants you to tune yourself. You will know. Many of us don't even know it's a Friday. We've lost track of the days of the week. But those who are here for Salatul Jum'ah very early, every Friday, ask them. They already know. They already know. Friday is coming, Jumu'ah. They are up early. They are looking for the small piece of cotton wool that they put a little bit of itr on and slant it in their ears. Have you seen that happening? Allah grant us goodness. I see the older people are smiling. That's what used to happen way back. That's not a sunnah, by the way. It's just the action of some of the older people that we witnessed when we were growing up. Do you remember those little pieces of cotton wool? MashaAllah. But those were the uncles who really took it serious. How many of us, my beloved youth, you need to take over. Those younger than you need to see you, what you used to do, and they need to learn from you. Come to the masjid and come and sit in the front and come early every day. Then you find all these little ones saying, hey, see that toppy there, see that uncle there, see that oppa, that side there. Subhanallah. That's what you're going to be called very soon. They'll call you that. When I heard someone call me that old man, I said, ooh, now we're old. Subhanallah. Now we're old. But that's how it is. What goodness do you have that people can take from you? Come on, you have to have it. Because you are part of the people on the earth who have to leave a legacy. The good habits, come on, you can do it. How much Quran, how much dhikr, how much of salawat ala nabi do you do? Subhanallah. Or do you just pay lip service?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. If you enjoyed this video, please do share it with friends and family.